It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, The Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. It is that time of the weekend once again, time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake in mere seconds. In the meantime, though, let me give you some contact information. You're going to hear so much info in the next 30 minutes. You're going to say, what was that? I need to get more on that. That's fine. Call Blake at his office anytime. It's Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. You can also go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. That's the web address that you need to know. We'll repeat that information several times over the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, here's the man, Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome show. A ton of great stuff we'll talk about today. First thing, we'll dive into the market numbers for anyone that missed last week's show. We'll kind of really dig in, look at the real-time numbers of what's going on overall. They're actually very, very good the last couple months, which is great, and looking very, very good into this fall market. So we're super excited about that. We'll talk about that as well. Also look at some key findings from the 2019 Home Buyers Report. We actually had that on the agenda last week, just did not get enough time. There's some fascinating data in there I just wanted to share with everyone to kind of provide some value out there just for any buyers or sellers based on what are the overall trends and thoughts of buyers across the country right now. And it's very fascinating. So we'll dig in there and really talk about that and what's going on. Also, 4 tips to improve your home and also save on your energy bill. Some amazing success stories. My team, we ended up with 17 closed deals just last week, right? Which is awesome. Big shout out to our amazing team. And again, this is a fall shoulder season, and looking to put those same exact numbers up this next week. One of the guys on our team, big shout out to him, Baron out there, put 8 properties under contract already this month. And so the average agent in our MLS sells less than 4 per year. And so that's an example of the caliber of people we have on our team. We're super proud to have those type of numbers. Obviously, everyone hustles and pushes pretty hard. And on top of that, we have some brand new awesome success stories I'm super excited about. Someone who relocated somewhere else, someone who's moving up to a larger home, and a few more there as well. And also, we have time 4 reasons why you should sell this fall. And it's a quick reminder, too, we'll talk about that at the time. I have a brand new investment fund looking to buy homes just outright as is. No worries about commission, no worries about putting the market. That's also an option we have. Leading the pack here is one of the first companies that will do that. And I'm actually part of that fund. Some of that is my money. So we'll talk about that as well if we have time.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of stuff to get to, so we'll see what kind of time we have. Well, we do have a lot of great information. If you just tuned in for the very first time, you don't know who Blake Sloan is. He's been called the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications as well. You've seen him on TV maybe with NBC TV and also with Fox and Friends. That's right, the morning show on Fox. Also, we got the personal endorsements you've heard on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox, and others. If you put them all together, it's unprecedented in the world of real estate. Now, we also learned from week to week a little bit about some of Blake's trademark systems for both home buyers and home sellers. Can't give you all those details right now, but the most important part of his trademark system comes down to one thing.
Yes, period, right? I love that. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. And this is my calling. This is why I do what I do. This is why we do the show, because we get to share some of the stories and things that we hear and see. I mean, I could write books on this in regards to the amount of horror stories that we've heard and dealt with when you're dealing with someone's largest asset, right? Usually their home. And so the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And I made a promise to talk about this every single show after dealing with so many horror stories. And that one thing is the agent you choose, period, right? And so part of it comes down to how they actually execute. And so in reality, there's 118 different variables from A to Z when you're selling a house. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? That puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, meaning that they drop the ball somewhere, some way. And that could be anything from the agent does not answer the phone, they don't call back missed calls, they don't call leads back. If anybody's ever submitted online, most agents don't even call you back, right? They're too busy trying to juggle all the balls. And so it can be priced wrong, it could be photos, it could be the wrong type of photos, wrong quality photos, the wrong amount of photos, all these things that make a difference that can be dropped in that process, which costs you your hard-earned equity. And so what we did make us different, and also we got some Forbes and Wall Street Journals First thing it is identified every single variable. And we said, how do we create a system that's proven and repeatable that creates maximum leverage every single point? And so what we did is design that piece by piece, item by item. And so what happens is it's like stacking the dominoes. We create a small gap for our client at point one, at point two, and all the way through to 118. Now at the end, there's a massive gap between us and everyone else. It's called the guaranteed sold system. The only proven system is almost twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works amazingly well, right? Again, it's like if you look at the example, the best one I've ever been able to come up with is a marathon. Everyone takes off, same exact time, right? The gun goes off, everyone starts running. But over a period of time, you'll notice that some people will finish 3 and 4 hours ahead of someone else. It's the same exact thing that we do with the marathon of your home sale. So don't just, chance that with someone who's only ran 1 or 2 marathons, right? In our example, the average agent or MLS sells less than 4 homes a year. It's very tough to navigate that and to have resources and money and technology and time to execute when you're just doing those 4. And that's the average. And so the reality is who you choose matters, and nothing's more important than that when it comes down to it. We see day in, day out horror stories where their house is listed, it's sat there for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Meanwhile, they're in limbo, riding that emotional roller coaster of not able to make that next decision, that next move. Or what's even worse is it actually does sell, but they don't even realize left $15,000 on the table. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, give me a call, 808-SOLD. The other side of that equation, though, is on the buy side, because guess what? There's 100 plus variables on the buy side. If each one's handled correctly, right, with precision, that puts money in your pocket. You get the home that you want. Anything's handled incorrectly, meaning that they drop the ball, they don't execute, they're busy one day, they're out at a baseball game one day. When that house comes out, they can't be there. Guess what? That costs you money, aka also the home of your dreams, right? And so we design what we call the unfair advantage home buying system. Gives you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, and also through the inspection and closing process, which is where a lot of people drop the ball. And so both those are designed to do one thing only. They give our client a competitive advantage when they're buying or selling. And so that's a huge difference, especially on that selling side. I know I said it before, but people don't really take that in. They don't really take into the scope. The reality is what most agents do is the 3 Ps, right? They promise the world to get the listing. 2, they put it to the MLS. And 3, they price one brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to list the neighbor's home because they're trying to keep that pipeline full instead of having time to fulfill in what they got. And it's not intentional. That's just how the majority of the business still operates, in that archaic way of one person trying to juggle all these balls, right? They're trying to basically do everything themselves. And so the reality is you have one single agent who's trying to do listings, right? They're trying to do buyers. They're riding buyers around looking at houses. They're trying to do the marketing. Right. They're trying to do the administration. They're trying to do contract to close. They're trying to do all these things. That's like having the same person at McDonald's do the front register, the drive-through, and the french fries at the same time. We both know that food would not taste very good if you had one person working at McDonald's serving that many people. Guess what? That's the same way that 95% of agents operate in today's marketplace, which is why there's so much frustration and so much failure, and so many people just aren't happy and getting their homes sold. And so we designed a system to fix those challenges. Again, it's exclusive to us here. I licensed it to other agents in other parts of the country, but it works very, very, very well. So avoid having to have that overall horror story. Reach out, call us first, 843-808-SOLD.
All right, a lot of stuff to still get to here as we're going through the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Again, if you're just tuning in, phone number to get in touch with. If you want to call Blake, you should. 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. You can also go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Coming up next, some of the most important numbers you're going to be hearing all weekend, the mortgage rates. Where are they? Going up, going down? We'll find out about that next. And also, we'll get a little bit of a market update as well, see what's happening real estate-wise in the Grand Strand area. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now, look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this. Hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Coming up in just a second, we'll find out what the mortgage rates are looking like. It's part of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Get in touch with Blake. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Before we get to the mortgage rates, let's see what's going on as far as the market is concerned. What are you seeing out there?
Looking good, actually. I'm very happy with what our numbers look like going to this time of the year. And just kind of looking in the past, how we've always done numbers that's kind of been the most accurate, in my opinion, because we are a seasonal marketplace, is we'll always compare last month versus same month the year before, right? So you do like August to August, July to July, and it helps you kind of gather what's happening in that month because we are a seasonal marketplace. And so I'll talk about that in a second. But so the challenge with that this month, if you remember hearing last week's show, is that the 1 month last year, so we're in October. So September of last year was when hurricane hit. Right? Was that Florence? Yeah, Florence hit, and we had the basically the flooding. We had the hurricane. You had all that. That almost wiped out an entire month of home sales because you had the week build up to the hurricane, aka the evacuation. You had the couple days that it hit. Then you had the aftermath there. Well, then you had the week of the flooding coming up. Then we had the flooding here, and then kind of it took 7 days to go back down, right? And so part of that was we lost a lot of opportunity in deals that could actually close, and even some of that they had to get reappraised. They had to have people go back and inspect them. So long story short, September's numbers of last year are way off. It shows like if you compare this year versus last year, it shows a 68% increase in home sales, which is not accurate. So it'll even out after this month. Probably the next show we'll be able to have that data. But I've been doing the 6 month rolling average, which is really kind of the most recent. And nothing really is skewed there. And so here's overall numbers. They're looking awesome, especially if you look at the trend, right? We look at month to month. We also look at the trend. And so for single family home sales, the trend is up 8.4%, which is awesome. We're almost double digits. And remember a while back, we got to the very low single digits where there's kind of a little bit of a lull there, right? And I think we're finally seeing now some return of the interest rates, right, being lower, seeing people finally get off the fence. You're seeing those deals close. A lot of those take 60 days. Some take 45 days. So we're seeing that, which is awesome news. So, for example, last 6 months, there are 3,288 single-family homes sold, which is a lot, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, our team had a big chunk of that. I'd like to have all of that, but the reality is, that's a great number for us to have here in regards to where we're at, right? And so also, if you look at the overall sales price, which is great news, 5.3% increase in sales. And so that's great. It's just sustainable. It's continuing to go up. So like right now, the median price for resale homes is $231,700. And here's the coolest part. If you look back to April 2016, it was $187,500. And so talk about a great steady recovery. If you're watching this long-term graph like I have here in front of me, it goes up steadily. It's not over the top. It's not something that's unsustainable for us, which is very, very good news, especially if you're talking about what could happen in the future, with a recession or something like that, which is great news here. Months of supply. If you're looking at months of supply, we talked about this last week. It's probably one of the biggest ahas, that I've kind of been looking at is that months of supply right now has been sitting right around 5.1 months inventory. And so it's the third lowest that I've seen it since we tracked in January 2016. It's tied for the second. So basically, January of 2018 was the lowest it's ever been, 4.9 months of inventory, meaning that if you didn't have another listing come on the market, it would take 4.9 months to sell everything that's available, right? It's very simple. It's a hypothetical kind of question of how you gauge how much inventory is out there. And so anything below 6 months is always a seller's market, meaning that the seller has the advantage because there's not a huge, amount of inventory out there. And so amazing thing there. If you look back into December 2018, 5.1 months inventory, and then here 5.1 months inventory as well last month, which is very, very good opportunity for home sales out there. And that's why you're seeing price move up, right? Because it's always supply and demand. And so the interesting factor is that price is always a lagging indicator, meaning that, right, supply is down, demand is the same or up, is going to push the prices up the next couple months because obviously people are learning to bid that up as they get outbid for properties, as they miss out. We had someone miss a property on the buy side by a couple hours. They delayed in getting kind of the pre-approval. We sent it in by the time the agent sent it in already had been under contract with someone else. And we see that happen all the time on our listings. And so that's something you want to watch out for there. But as a home seller, that's great news because guess what? Less competition, less on your street. And so that's something that's important. And I just kind of looking back, just as kind of off the top of my head here, and I was looking back in regards to when you look at the 6-month rolling average, and this is why it's important to take action in the fall right now. A big mistake people do is they and just doing this for so long, I see this happen every year. And I've talked about in the show a little bit before, but after we get to Thanksgiving, everybody has this one thing they always say. Oh, we're going to wait for the first of the year.
Of course.
To put it on the market, right? Well, the problem with that, if you look at this graph I have here that basically does 6 months and 3 month rolling averages all the way back to 2016, it's very, very obvious the graph looks almost identical each year. The lowest month of sales every single month, every single year for the past 4 years almost is always February. Interesting, right? The second slowest month is January, and the third lowest is March. And so if I'm going to sell my house, the last time I want to sell my house is the 3 lowest months that people are not buying. It's also the 3 lowest that your yard doesn't look as good, the weather's not as good. There's still stuff that sells, and we still sell a lot. But the reality is that's something you want to be aware of. Do not wait until no one's buying to put your house in the market, right? If you're thinking about doing it, do it now when there's more demand, right? There's more buyers in town. Your property looks better. Obviously, life matters in your scheduling, but if you've been thinking about like use these numbers to your advantage, right? If this makes one person make a decision like, hey, look, I'm going to use this. And this is something we sit down with our clients and we show them the trends, we show them the numbers, and it's really super, super simple. It looks like a pack of waves going right now on the graph. And so the bottom of every, swell is February, January, March.
Right.
And so that's something that you want to take advantage of now when it's kind of in that upswing, especially when you're seeing an 8.4% increase in sales. And so that's just something to kind of talk about, a little bit of nerdy numbers there for you in regards to kind of what we do. If you look at new construction over the last 6 months, 4.1% increase in sales, which is great. We had a couple months there they struggled, but it's still recovering pretty well overall. Sales price for new construction up 3.6% the last 6 months in general, which is great news over there overall as well. And so obviously condos is a big part of that. Condos is performing very well, up 4.3%, 3,208 condos sold in the last 6 months in our area, which is like Grand Strand, Horry, Georgetown counties as well. Sales price for condos up 5.8%. Median price right now, $137,500. And so, man, it's looking good. That's the one thing I was talking about is like coming to this fall market is strong. My team's been super, super busy, running around like crazy with buyers in town from all over the United States. We have West Coast, we got East Coast, we got up north. And so that's something that's been a great for our team. But take advantage of that. Obviously, same thing from the buy side. Rates is what's driving this right now. And just jumping into interest rates, they're still very, very good. Last week's show for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.79%. This week's show, 3.80%. And so I track that back. You go back 2 weeks, it was 3.62. We're still amazing. We're still below 4%, which no one really ever thought it would get back there, much less stay there this long. And so it's a great, great news overall as well. A 15-year fixed rate right now, 3.39%, which is amazing. This is the crazy part here. A FHA loan right now, 30 years is 3.38%. What most people don't realize, you can get to an FHA loan with only 3.5% down. So, I mean, if you got a $100,000 house, $3,500, you can get that down payment and get a 3.38% loan, which is unbelievable. And that's how a lot of people are actually, owning for less than they're renting for. If you look at that type of stuff, obviously, it's a government-backed loan. You can have credit scores, even the 500s, that gets that done with them, which is awesome. Sometimes if it's lower, below 599 credit score, you need 10%. But still, amazing, amazing opportunity there for first-time buyers that they want to take advantage of. A 30-year jumbo loan, 3.81%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage, people call it an ARM, is 3.44%. So bottom line, The overall opportunity is great. I mean, rates super low, weather's still good. This is shoulder season. My team and I are talking about this is when a lot of people are in town from up north, other areas that wanted to avoid the crowd. You typically find they don't have as many kids, usually a little bit older, looking for second homes, relocation type places, and also some condos and stuff. We've seen a lot of investors down here buying condos and second homes these past 2 weeks, and so a lot of that's just waiting for the craziness to get past here. And you've seen a lot of people with money in town. So reach out, give me a call. We'll teach you more. We'll show you more and show you the data and help you make the best decision for sure.
All right, best decision. That's what it's all about with Sloan Realty Group, and you can get that kind of decision-making process going if you give Blake a call. Call him today at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com. Coming up next, our Hot Buyers Alert. Got some great success stories, and we'll try to fit in as much as we can. Also, it's a jam-packed 30 minutes, as always, each and every weekend. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make
about 7.5 minutes left.
Okay.
An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
The Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Remember, call Blake at his office at 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Time for your Hot Buyers Alert. Blake and his team working with just a huge amount of home buyers. They're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere in the range from $150,000 to $3.5 million. If you're in that range and even thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately at that same number, 843-808-SOLD. Why does it need inventory? Because people are looking for homes, your home, maybe, here in the Myrtle Beach area. He's got so many people on his website. The latest number I saw right before we went on the air was 54,747. That's not clicks. That's not Facebook friends. Those are people who have usernames and passwords on Blake's website to try to look at homes and to be the first one on there, and not just look at one home a month, but probably look at a home an hour. I mean, there's just people out there that are just constantly on that site.
It's crazy. Like right now, I have almost a record here. The most recent, and these people are like Dave mentioned, these are username, password account. I'm watching live right now as people can search, and it has who they're at, where they're from, they're moving around. Right now, Maryland's her name, Marilyn Moore. Big shout to her from Virginia. 1,174 visits to our site. She looked at 1,506 properties, and she has 4 favorites right now that are real time. So, like, that's a real person, that's searching here. We got Nicholas from New York. We got Lawrence from Passaic, New Jersey. Yep, Richmond, Virginia. Bob Weaver. We got Jane from Townsend, Maryland, and Teresa Dew from Chester, South Carolina. I'm not sure where that is.
Yeah, it's a little bit upstate.
Okay, yep. So also, I mean, we're for everywhere. Just that's kind of, and the reality is they're real buyers, right? Looking to buy. We have technology. It takes any new listing we get, reverse engineers most likely buyer for that property based on our previous search patterns. And so, like, this is like one of the things I had a conversation with one of our listeners actually, who was a client yesterday. Like, they're like, well, this other agent said they're going to put my house in a golf magazine. I'm like, well, there's only one problem with that is people looking to buy houses don't look for houses in golf magazines,
sure,
right? They go one place, the internet, because they look at live houses with live photos, right, in that example. And so, because why? Most buyers know that if they go look at a golf magazine, if that's a good deal on a good house, guess what? That thing's already probably been sold. If it's not, it's probably not a good deal. And so, in today's time, what do consumers want? They want now, right? And so that's why we spend a massive amount of money driving traffic from all over the globe. And so what we're able to do, and what gives our clients the advantage, is that I'm already, basically collecting buyers, rather if you list your property with me or not. Why? Because my team's going to sell them something either way. But what happens, it makes more sense for both clients if we can match up buyer and seller. Why? Because that's what we get paid to do, right? And so with that, we created technology that matches up buyer and seller in real time. It reverse engineers and scores them with a specific number based on how much a percentage match they are to that listing. And so if you're thinking about selling, right, don't just go to someone who starts the marketing process once it happens. This is not like a And that also the same awesome, amazing listener has been listening for years. Big shout out to him. But like this isn't a database, right? Database are people who just collect their emails and then like we send them stuff. We have a huge, big database. These are real buyers. They're like on the site searching,
Sure.
looking at properties that we mentioned. 1,506 properties. That's a real person. That's not a database person. That's a real buyer, right? And so I just want to kind of share that's the difference between us and different agents out there is we got real people who are looking to buy that we're spending money on regardless. And so with the business model we have a huge advantage over the average agent. I literally outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. So you can see how that gives us an advantage and gives our client an advantage because of how the machine works. Worst case scenario, we give great service to a buyer from somewhere. We help give them a great deal, give them a great property. Best case scenario, we already have a buyer that's lined up for your property the minute it gets listed, or we find one very quickly based on our marketing and target marketing because guess what? We go where the buyers are at. We can geo-target based on their IP address. We're able to basically locate based on where these buyers are from, which we've been fine-tuning since 2005 when I used to get made fun of as the internet kid because I was doing Google pay-per-click when people hadn't even heard of it, right? And so that's what gives us a huge advantage. And that just kind of bring it up to that question yesterday. But the bottom line is, if you're thinking about selling, I don't care what it is. It could be commercial, residential, a shoebox. We got buyers out there. Reach out to me. Give me a call. Don't make the mistake of going with someone else first. Then we're short on time. How much we got?
A little more than 2 minutes.
All right. So really quick, I want a big shout out to George. This is a really cool story. George had to move out of state for his job, basically not necessarily relocation, but there's an opportunity in his job if he could move there. The challenge was he had a house here in the Myrtle Beach area. He had to sell for top dollar to make that work. Here's the cool part. His son used us in the past to sell his home and had George call us, which is awesome. So he had dad call us, and that's pretty cool. And if you refer your dad, you obviously trust the service, which is super cool. So big shout out to them as well. We came in, designed custom strategy, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, launched it obviously within 1 day, had an offer for $5,000 more than just his asking price. Not able to move on, and it's cut and dry. There's no stress. Last one here, Shirley Lynn owned a house in Longs, looking to find a larger home with more land. She had to sell hers obviously first. Thankfully, her boyfriend's listening to the show. Told her to call us. She called us. Basically launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos. Within 2 weeks, drove massive traffic. Had an offer for 99% of asking price. Now she can buy the new home without any stress or any worry. That's how we help you negotiate that catch-22 of do you buy first or sell first. Both examples, we got top dollar, and now they have leverage when they buy. And so anyone out there that doesn't want to do the dance the hard way, reach out and give me a call for sure.
All right, just got about 60 seconds left. Anything you want to say last minute?
I just forgot about that amazing article that came out this past week in USA Today. We'll talk about that next week, where Myrtle Beach came in with the #1 affordable destination out of the top 50. We'll talk about that as well. But other thing too, if you want to learn how to just sell your house, you know someone that just wants to sell it outright. Obviously, there's 2 ways to do it. We have full retail. We do everything. Help you fix it up, get the absolute top dollar. Some cases you may just want to get bought out. Like I say, have a fun. We'll buy it out instantly for you. Reach out and give us a call as well.
All right. That phone number to call at the Sloan Realty Group is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. And jam-packed full of 30 minutes of everything you need to know as far as real estate in the Myrtle Beach area. Blake, thanks for everything. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell homes in high volume. Prepare your home to create the most demand when it does go on the market to sell for the highest price. And don't fill your life with drama while you wait for your home to sell. When I want to know what's happening, there's only one agent I call. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, every single day on average, he sells multiple homes and attracts new homes, which gets you early access to great homes before they hit the market. Now, he has so many buyers, he allows you to establish a deadline and a price acceptable to you. So if that deadline passes and your home is not sold, he will buy your home.